It was really important, I think, for us to gather today, no matter how hot it is in here, no matter how sweaty it is in here. We've got like 2 fans. But I think everybody coming out here today, seeing, despite the heat, really shows how committed we all are to transformative social change. This is about commitment. This is a testament to commitment. And I think a lot of times, especially in communities like ours, for those who don't know, I'm a 3rd-generation Bronxite. I live right over here in Parkchester, so we're right here in the neighborhood. And oftentimes what happens in our communities, especially in the Bronx, is that there's kind of a psychological disenfranchisement that happens. We walk around every day, we wake up in the morning, we walk to the train, we go to work, we come off the train, we come back, and we think that nothing's happening because we don't see organizing happening. And because we don't feel seen, one of the reasons why I wanted us all to come together is because we need to see ourselves. We need to see ourselves in this community. We need to see how we are doing the work, that we need to really reimagine what leadership means. It's not about one person, it's not about one congresswoman or one congressman or one city council member. It's not about being leadership, it's not one person having a position of leadership, but as Elizabeth Yampir says, who does climate justice for Puerto Rico, it's about seeing that our community is leaderful. Our community is leaderful. We have organizers and we have people here who care, and that requires us to come together all the time, sharing what we're working on, sharing what we're talking about, because it's not just about organizing for an election, it's about organizing for tuition-free public college. It's about organizing for Medicare for all. It's about organizing for a federal jobs guarantee. And above all else, and I think one of the things that we see today, it's about organizing for a 21st century labor movement in the United States. And that comes from communities like ours the most. So for those of you who may or may not know, I spent the last 9 days. I know it seems like an eternity, but it was just 9 days that I was out traveling the country. I was in Kansas, Michigan, California, St. Louis, stumping for other progressive candidates across the country. And people said, thank you. And a lot of them are up for their election day is today. I'm going to fly out and do one more before this Saturday, Kanyalaing in Hawaii. And the reason for that, they say, oh, why is she going out there? You know, she needs to stay in the Bronx. But what we need to realize is that our struggles are linked. That all of our issues are linked together. They don't want us as people here in the Bronx to see our struggle in the people in Detroit, and the people in St. Louis, and the people in Baltimore, because they don't want us to realize how powerful we really are. And what the truth is that when we come together, we can get these things done now. We can get it done now. Don't let anybody tell you that this is pie in the sky. Don't let anybody tell you how are we going to pay for it when our current healthcare system costs more than a single-payer system does right now. Don't let anybody tell you that we can't afford tuition-free public college when we don't even have enough skilled laborers to fill the jobs that we have right now. And don't let us get to 30, 40 years in the future and tell our grandchildren that we couldn't save the planet because everyone was asking, how are you going to pay for it? We need to save our planet, and we're going to be there in that future. We're gathering to organize, we're gathering to fight, because 50 years from now, I know that I'm going to tell my grandkids, we saved the planet, we created single-payer healthcare, we established because we care about their future and we care about this country. And so one of the people who has come here to show that solidarity, who has surpassed all the odds and done all the organizing, I want us to give a really big, beautiful Bronx welcome to Addie. Because he has please stand up for a round of applause. class Americans across the country. He cares about a federal jobs guarantee. He cares about tuition-free college. He cares about Medicare for all. And he has put his entire life on the line for us. And so since he has put it all for us, we all put it all for him, because that is how a movement works. Because that means we're all fighting for each other. So I just want to give Abby a few minutes to speak. And again, thank you all so, so much. And that's what this is all about. And again, one last thing. People keep talking about those tables in the back. It is not a side movement. It is not a side thought. Everybody needs to sign at least one of these petitions, join one of these movements before we leave this room, because that is how we capture this energy, and that's how we make sure that we don't just show up and listen to people talk, but we show up to get things done. And so that's what that's all about. Before you come out, make sure that we get educated. Issues like postal banking sound a little abstract, but let me tell you what postal banking is about. If anybody here lives in Parkchester, I wake up every morning. I wake up and I live across the street from a check cashing place. And what happens with these predatory financial services is that they'll take, lots of people know, they'll take 10% of your paycheck, they'll take payday lenders, they'll do pawn shops. It's designed for us to take less and less of a paycheck that we already don't get enough of. And so what postal banking will do is they'll bring all those services in-house so that the unbanked can keep more of their paycheck, and we can capture more of our wealth and build more power to safeguard his future. Support our brothers and sisters out there. It's super important. Make sure you're talking to them about that. Make sure you're engaging on one fair wage. Make sure you're engaging on all of these issues, because they are important. They are about our economic and social future. Me, Congresswoman, but I'm not Congresswoman yet. We got November. And actually, our race has some of the largest amount of candidates. It's like a 4 or 5 way split race going into November. So we need to come in with a mandate. We have a very aggressive goal of voter registration out here in the Bronx and Queens. We want to register 20,000 voters before November. The only thing, it's extremely important goal for us, because it's not only to change our election out here in November, but it's to make sure that the Bronx and Queens have greater sway and greater power in citywide and statewide elections. So the only way we can hit that goal is by working with every single person in this room, giving everybody a stack of voter registration cards, and making sure that everybody in your block, in your building, on your floor, in your church, wherever you go, is registered to vote. Doesn't matter their affiliation, they need to get registered. So that's our #1 goal first and foremost. Kat can also help you guide in the rest of our organizing that we're doing today. And thank you all again so much. This was incredible. Thank you so much. Before anybody moves,
everybody calls me BG, and I am the co-campaign manager for Alexandria Cortez, who is running, she's the Democratic nominee for Congress in New York's District 14. And that's what I am doing at this event that brought together a number of union groups and community groups to talk a bit to Alexandria and to Barkan about the issues that are facing the community here in District 14.
And what are some of those issues?
So some of those issues are actual banking that's affordable for people who are not making a living wage. So there was the postal banking factor. There's also groups such as CWA brought up the fact that there's decertification going on, where large corporations are firing activists and union organizers and then hiring other people in so that they can hold votes that would decertify the union that's actually representing them. And one of the other things that we definitely talked about was the need to educate and mobilize our electorate, in addition to actually registering people to vote, because a lot of the folks in New York 14, until I would say this pretty historic latest primary, have been, what I've heard, feeling a bit disenfranchised and not heard, so they haven't even registered to vote. So part of what we're looking to do is actually get people excited about the fact that you have the opportunity to have a congressperson who's actually listening to you. And we're looking to actually get those people registered to vote and expand the electorate in this district.
Our president sort of mentioned her a couple of times and tweeted about her. How does she feel about it?
On that, I'm sorry I can't speak to. I can tell you that we have not focused on our current president. We've been very much focused on the people and on the electorate, but not so much about who's in the Oval Office. Our battle and our effort is to represent the people and to make sure that their voice is getting heard in Congress.
Giving a big push for getting out the vote. How important is it? And wait till I finish. How important is it to get out and vote? For people to get out and vote. The Congressman, she has been hitting all areas and she's not leaving nobody out. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so it is critical that we as an electorate are voters. That means more than just, hey, I go to the ballot box, I look at a party line, and I check it. To be a voter means that we're not just going on our own, we're bringing our mom, our dad, our sister, our brother, our son, our daughter. We're making it an event, and we are going informed. We actually know who the people on the ballot are that we are going to be voting for. So those are two critical elements to all of this. The other factor is just knowing how important it is to actually vote. Look, when they look at districts that actually have a mandate, that are actually out there, they're like, oh, this person has people behind them. This is someone that we need to pay attention to. And this is someone that we need to be like listening to as they talk, because they have an entire district behind them. And that's the kind of thing that the ballot box actually shows. And it's not just showing it for Congress, it's also showing it for state elections. You know, who our governor is, they go back and look at where did people come out to vote for governor. Who our attorney general is, they're going to look at that. Who our lieutenant governor is. We need to be out there voting in all of these. We need to be out there voting in the primaries as well, and making sure that the person who's appearing on the various ballot lines for assembly or state senate is somebody that you actually believe in. And the only way that happens is if you actually take the time to go and be a voter.